Hey friends! So it's been a minute since I've done a reaction video, so I thought what better way to get back into it than by watching Dax's Dear Alcohol. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Leanne and I'm an addictions advocate and founder of Sober City. And as I usually do, I will read along and watch as I go through, and I will pause a few times and just talk about how I'm interpreting the lyrics, what I'm seeing visually on the screen, what I might think that the artist is going for, things like that. Okay, so let's get into it.
I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted.
So, right away, in the beginning there, we saw this. Dear Alcohol, I don't think you're as bad as what they say. Everything else in this world is temporary, so why does it even matter if I drink you anyway? So that's the mentality, basically, of like, fuck it, you only live once, just do what you feel like you want to do now. Basically always saying yes to yourself. And that's pretty common mentality to have, you know, in your teenage years, in your 20s. But for a lot of us, like, or most of us, I think, as we grew up, we realized that that's probably not the best mindset to have. We want to live like a long and healthy life where we're not riddled with alcoholism and cancers and liver disease, stuff like that. So there comes a point, same with diet, there comes a point where you can't say yes to yourself over every single thing that you want to do. And I don't think you're as bad as what they say. It's super common. That right there is what causes a lot of people to stay in active addiction and not get help, because other people saying like, oh, you're not that bad. I actually made a video on that. Link is up here. And people saying like, it's just a drink, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, and you're like, okay, well, I guess it's really not that bad. And then that can make the cycle continue. But so far in the song, all right, so we got, so the chorus. Yeah, I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. Having strong thought, not even strong thoughts and feelings, any thoughts and feelings sometimes is too difficult to deal with. So you want to numb out and you want to get wasted and just not have to think about it much. So what do they say here? Yeah, Dax reflects on the numbing effect of alcohol, where excessive drinking leads to a loss of self-awareness and identity. Yes, it does lead to a loss of self-awareness and identity, but then you end up building a new identity around drunk you. And but you do continue to feel less connected to your true self. That keeps happening. In my experience, and from when I talk to other people too, the more deeper into alcohol addiction you get, the more disconnected you are with like the real you inside, and you start to build up a new persona on the outside, and it gets more and more depressing for a lot of people. I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. Yeah, that just keeps going and going and going. All right, so we are into verse 1.
Repeat the cycle every day. I gotta start with a drink. My life been getting sort of crazy and I don't wanna think. I look myself right in the mirror and I don't even blink. Then I get angry, take the rest and pour it right in the sink. I know where this road goes. Alcohol ain't my friend, but I keep drinking cause these demons roaming. Follow me around everywhere I go. It clouds my mind and soul. It turns my heart cold. But I keep drinking cause it makes me feel like I'm not alone. I'm having problems, my problem let me reach out. Looking at this bottle, having nothing but doubt. Don't want to drink, but it keeps coming around and around and around. I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with my
Oh, I like the visuals that are starting to come up here. But okay, so let's get into verse 1. Yeah, man, every line is for real. So I actually want to start with really the first few lines that he said, and there was visuals that went along with it as well, where repeat this cycle every day. I get to start with a drink. Sure, for a lot of people, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if you are not at that point of having a drink to start your day, just because you're not at that point doesn't mean that you don't have a problem. It's a common misconception that alcoholism, aka alcohol use disorder, is getting the shakes as soon as you wake up, having to take a drink. You leave a drink on your nightstand table so you can drink it as soon as you wake up so you feel normal, in an alley, drinking out of a brown paper bag, losing your family and your job and all that kind of stuff. That is usually people's ideas of what an alcoholic is. But it is a spectrum. I did a video on that. I'll link it up here and down below. So don't take that piece as, oh, good, I'm in the clear. That's not my life. It's not that bad, because it might be. But again, that is the reality for a lot of people. I look myself right in the mirror and I don't even blink. I take that as, I'm like, yeah, this is me. When you have that like edge to you a little bit, then he says, then I get angry, take the rest and pour it right in the sink. I've never done that. I've never thrown out alcohol. Even when I got sober, I think I just gave it away. I don't think I've ever done that. But I know lots of people who have. When you're in that cycle of like, you have a problem and then you want to quit and you're like, fuck it, I'm quitting. And you pour it down the sink and you're like, I'm done. I'm over it. I can't. And then you go right back and then the cycle continues over and over and over again. So that's what that means to me, of course. He's talking about being on that cycle. I know where the road goes. Yeah, exactly. It's a cycle. Alcohol ain't my friend, but I keep drinking. And I keep drinking because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Yeah, I've heard, in the book by Ann Dowsett Johnston called Drink, that is the first book I read in early recovery. And in that book, the author talks about how alcohol is like a boyfriend, where, and I love that analogy so much. And I think he's sort of speaking to it in this way as well, where like, we know alcohol isn't our friend, but we keep going back to it. And it makes you feel like you're not so alone, even though when you're drinking alone, you don't feel like you're so alone sometimes if you're super drunk, because like you have that companion in alcohol, even though it's like could potentially be destroying your life. And if it's not destroying your life, it's just making it like shitty in some sort of way. But you still keep on going back. It's like a shitty girlfriend or a shitty boyfriend, where you're like, yeah, but the allure is there. And so you just keep going back, but it just sucks the life out of you. You know what I mean? And this line, I'm having problems, my pride won't let me reach out. I feel like a lot of people in general, but I think a lot of men get this part as well. But I'm seeing that change. I'm seeing a lot more men reach out and get help and go to recovery meetings and that kind of stuff. But I know that is still an issue with a lot of men, where your pride gets in the way, maybe ego, and it can prevent you from getting better. All right, so the chorus, it looks like it is the same, but let's watch, because I like these visuals.
Myself tonight, my thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm sober, I don't recognize. I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm sober, I don't recognize. I got wasted, I know I need to quit.
Okay, we're into verse 2 there. Oh, man. I just want to hug everybody who makes these videos, because they understand, and just to watch them recreate it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to me. So we already talked about the chorus. The visuals to this, of the floating, his eye, like he was playing the part of looking like he was drunk. Yeah, that was and like wasted. The feeling like you're floating thing, I feel like there's more to it than that. Because sure, yes, alcohol does make you feel physically different and mentally different. But that could be interpreted in as floating, because it's like you're not connected to your body or your mind or your true self. You're sort of just floating and not feeling, and you're just there. You're wasted. You don't want to deal with yourself, so you just float and you exist. But at least you don't feel alone. Oh my God, it's such a bad place to be in. So we're into verse 2. Let's see how this goes.
I gotta do better. It's simple to these kids, cause they watch you and I'm there. But I'm scared, cause I done chasing the man that I am when I start to drink. He's cocky, confident, and he don't give a damn what you think. This world is beating me down and it's pushed me right to the brink. I take a shot every time because man, it helps me escape. I'm taking care of these people, but no one takes care of me. I wanna talk to somebody, but I feel no one relates. I need better now. I think I've lost my way. I'm having battles with faith. It's painted right on my face. I hope better times are coming. No chase, but I'm still running. I gotta take control, and I don't stop for nothing. Dear God, this is my test. Promise that I do my best. Just help me with this pain. I feel and pressure that is. I got wasted because I didn't know.
Yeah, that was great. There's a lot. Oh man, this whole song is just jam-packed. Jam-packed. So, to start, I know I need to quit. I got to do better. Example to these kids. That's a big driving force for a lot of people, to quit drinking. I don't have children myself, so I don't know personally what that's like, but man, I could imagine that would be a very powerful motivator to quit living your life in that way. And the next line of chasing the man that I am, he's cocky, confident, he don't give a damn what you think. That ties into what I said earlier, where you start to lose a sense of who you really are. Sometimes you don't even really know who you are, especially like in your early 20s. You're just trying to figure that out. And then if you add alcohol on top of it and then it turns into a problem, sometimes you never really find out who you are. So you start to build up a new identity around drunk you, like I was saying earlier. And that's basically what he's saying here, where he's describing the drunk him, where he's cocky and confident, doesn't give a fuck. And that can make you feel very powerful, of course. It can make you feel confident. Those are the words that he used. But is it really real? Sure, some of it is because it's coming from you. But how much of that is an illusion? You know, how much of that is just something that you built up so that you don't have to face things, or so that you don't have to deal with things in a more healthy way, you know? So then the thought of quitting drinking can be terrifying, because you're like, who am I if I'm not that cocky, confident, don't give a damn what you think person? Who am I if I'm not that person? I don't know. And our brains don't like the unknown. So even if it's shitty, our brains are going to want to stay in the place that it knows, at least. This world is beating me down. It has pushed me to the brink. For a lot of people, especially nowadays, yes, that's very real. And you take a shot to help you escape, because that's what alcohol does. It's so good at that. But, escaping uncomfortable feelings, escaping bad thoughts by drinking doesn't allow it so that you can process, doesn't allow it so you heal and work through things. It's putting a Band-Aid on it. It's blocking things out. It's making it so that you don't have to think about it or do anything about it. And then that can keep you stunted emotionally, mentally, in that one way of thinking, because it's so rare that you would ever really process something and come out the other side stronger and healthier if you continue to numb out and take a shot every time you need an escape. I'm taking care of these people. No one takes care of me. I feel like that's a really common way to feel and to think, especially for parents, especially for everybody in some way. I think most people would feel that way. I want to talk to somebody, but I feel no one relates. That's so true. And it's ridiculous when you step back and look, because of course people are going to get it. Of course. But when you're in that moment or in that situation, you feel like truly no one understands, and you feel like the things that you're experiencing are so unique. And if they're not so unique, they are a little bit unique. So, too unique for someone else to be able to fully relate to what you're going through. But that is not true. Sure, the other person might not be able to relate exactly to your situation, but we can get like 90% of it and to really get it. Having battles with my faith, I hear that from a lot of people as well. And this last bit sounds like praying, just help me with this pain I feel and pressure on my chest. I promise I'll do my best. But I like the visual of his house filled up with water, or well, with alcohol and bottles. It's like the house is drowning, or it's like his environment is drowning. His home, his safe place is slowly being enveloped with liquor bottles, and that sound of the clinking and the dank and the like icky feeling of just getting wasted all the time and drowning. So let's continue this.
Wanna deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted cause I didn't wanna deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted.
Yeah. I like that last like diary entry or letter to alcohol. Dear alcohol, I found out you were even worse than yeah. Oh, dear alcohol, I found out you were even worse than what they said. Sometimes I try to remember the Sometimes I try to remember the good times, but you actually made me forget most of those memories instead. Yeah, man, that really had, I'm glad he said that at the end, where in the beginning, you know, he said, people say like you're not as bad as you, but like, you know, it's bad on the inside because you can see all the negative effects it has on your life. But when you get sober and you start to like piece things together and heal and get stronger and more confident in your sobriety, you really do start to see how much worse alcohol is than what your friends think or what society thinks. You start to really see it for what it is and how poisonous it's literally poison, and how like figuratively poisonous to our true selves it really can be for a lot of people. So overall, I can see why this is such a popular video for people in recovery, or people who are like questioning the relationship with alcohol, and they might watch this and have some feelings in the pit of their stomach kind of thing. I can see why. It's a really good video, really good lyrics, and I really like the chorus because it's so straight up, gets to the point of this is what it's like. And it can feel very hopeless, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Really. You can find recovery and you can work through it. You can get out the other side and quit drinking and be happier for yourself, for your family, for your children. You really can do it. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to, you can subscribe so you can see more from me. And remember, you can do hard things, you deserve happiness, and you are loved. That's the first book I ever read, and there's a bus going by. How loud is that?